20 years after its premiere, The Venture Brothers is finally getting a movie of its own. And to celebrate, Non-Pro is finally ready to watch the show. That's right, we're doing a late-to-the-party rewatch of The Venture Brothers with you, our audience. I'm Frank. I'm a Venture Brothers super fan in that I have not finished watching the entire series because I am a poser as well. James, who's an even bigger poser than I am. Right, James?
Biggest.
How you doing?
Yes.
Biggest poser.
Biggest.
Darren Credible, one half of the SNL nerds. How are you doing, Darren?
I'm doing well. I'm the biggest of posers because I just started watching this show this afternoon in preparation for this podcast.
And Darren just said he had just started watching the show this afternoon. I'm repeating this because on my phone right now is the other half of the SNL nerds, John Trumbull. How are you doing, John?
I'm okay. I'm a little annoyed because I've had a lot of technical difficulties on my end. So
many technical difficulties. And the interesting thing is we're already getting comments, live comments on the show. Hello, Mr. Toe Tag. Are you a Venture Brothers fan? I hope so. Because I hope not too big a fan because you're going to be very upset by this. Yay, you are. So here's the deal. I'm gonna go through the basics of what a late to the party is for Non-Productive because we do this occasionally. A late to the party is basically something really popular and amazing that is not in the zeitgeist anymore. No one is talking about it. There's no reason why we should be doing a Lost rewatch, but we are. And we podcast about it. We post about it on Facebook and Discord. And we just make fools of ourselves and kind of dissect episodes as they come along when we watch them. Usually there's some big reason for it. And I said already, there's a 20th anniversary of The Venture Brother who premiered in 2003. At least the pilot came out in 2003. The show proper did not come out for like a year afterwards. But there's another thing. The end of this month, July 2023, the Venture Brothers movie, the long-awaited, rumored Venture Brothers movie is coming out. And we want to, get caught up, watch as much as we can before that movie comes out. It's going to be, as the kids say, lit. Kids say that? No?
Sure.
No one says that anymore? No? It's going to be eggplant emoji. Worse? Closer or further?
I think they say like 23 skidoo.
23 skidoo. Darren says, like the kids say, 23 skidoo.
Yeah. Vodio Joe.
I didn't feel old until this conversation.
Yeah, no, you're very old. You're definitely old. If you're watching this, probably old. Let's quickly go over our histories with the Venture Brothers, as is tradition on these shows. Like half of us have watched it and the other half have never seen it before. So I'll stick with just John Trumbull and I, who I think were fans early on. John, when did you first watch Venture Brothers? What did you think of it?
I watched it. I think it was like I watched it sporadically in the first season, and then I got really, really into it in the second season because the second season is when the show arcs really started kicking into gear because. I don't want to give it away for the people who haven't seen the show, but they have a big reveal at the end of the first season or beginning of the second season that kind of shapes the show to come. When it started out, it was just basically a Johnny Quest parody,
right?
And it was a great Johnny Quest parody, and I'm all about Johnny Quest. I'm all about the Johnny Quest parodies, but then it became something more because they started to build up their own mythology.
Yeah. So at the start, I believe I caught the pilot because at the time Adult Swim was doing a bunch of test pilots of early shows. This was maybe like the second wave of Adult Swim shows that were coming out after they started rerunning, older adult animation, and they just had Aqua Team Hunger Force was just before it. So this is maybe like the crest of the second wave. And the pilot is interesting. We'll talk a little bit about it in a minute, but the series. My favorite thing about it is the world building, and you don't really get into the world building until maybe midway through first season or second season. And it really just, it elevates the parody. It's not just your typical Mad TV style adult, back when they did the animated segments, Johnny Quest parody. It really is like the world if this were real. if this really happened, you'd expect there to be a guild of calamitous intent, a union for bad guys. Like, it's really, really fun. All right, so let's switch over to James and Darren. What experience have you two had at all with this show?
Kind of random experience. So I was a teenager when when Venture Brothers came out, but I didn't watch it religiously. So I caught it when it was on, and I would watch it because all the individual episodes were always clean or funny or enjoyable. I definitely know some of like the big spoilers or reveals from the series, but like all out of order, and like some things that definitely like, that's a big thing, but it has no meaning to me. I think one of the funniest and most interesting experiences I had with the show was actually, they did like the Adult Swim block of panels at New York Comic Con, back in the day. And we would always wait for the Robot Chicken panel. And the two creators of the Venture Brothers were on, because they had the new season coming out or whatever. And they were just so funny on stage. Like, I still remember how hilarious they were. And it always was like, man, these guys are so sharp. And I was always like, I should go back and like watch the thing in its entirety. I never did until this came up, and now it's an excuse to do that.
Yay! How about you, Darren?
It was a show I knew about, but I don't know why, I just never really checked it out. Maybe I kind of written it off in my mind, the thing, it's probably like, like some, I don't want to say cheap parody, but like I kind of just dismissed it as like a whatever show. But then again, like I really wasn't into Adult Swim that much, like with the exception of Robot Chicken and the Boondocks. Like those are the two shows I watch regularly. Like, but I never really followed any of the other Adult Swim mainstays like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Squidbillies. Like I just started watching Rick and Morty like last year. So
I'm
like,
finding out that Darren is cooler than me. I never knew that. I always thought I was at least the same level of cool as Darren.
Nah, bro.
Darren was cooler than me. You meant nerd? Darren is less of a nerd than that's what.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is weird.
Do you even nerd, bro?
What I heard was an extended explanation of why he hadn't been watching Venture Brothers. What I heard was just, I'm lame. So
he was too busy macking on the ladies and whatnot and watching the football. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
that is not Darren, and that is not Darren's
right. Surprise! I'm a jock. I'm a bro.
This geeky Darren. I don't know what I'm seeing anymore. You didn't watch Adult Swim? Oh,
I'm a bro in nerds clothing. I fooled you all.
You know what? You're sneaking into our life, and it's geek culture has won the culture war, and you're just making sure that you and your own are protected against when we start giving wedgies to all the people who wedgied us, as is the style of the times. So let's talk a little bit about spoilers. We won't spoil anything. We're going to be doing this episode by episode. I don't know if we're going to do like one episode by episode or if we're going to do a couple. If we want to get it done before the movie, we probably have to do like a season by season, but it doesn't matter. We're here to enjoy ourselves.
We'll get there.
But we will not spoil anything that happens later on in the seasons. Even though this isn't really a show that's like heavy on the like a narrative, like it's not a mystery, right? There's some things that land a little bit better if you didn't know it was coming.
It becomes more serialized over time,
right?
I think.
Yes.
I don't know if you started watching in the later seasons, if you could just jump in and then come up to speed, because it also, like, it airs kind of erratically because it's all hand-drawn animation now. It's like 2 years between seasons is not unusual,
right?
So I'm like a hardcore fan, and I have to kind of catch up and remind myself of, where were all the subplots again? Oh, okay, wait, this character died, and this, okay, yeah, all right, okay, yes, I sort of remember this stuff now.
Yeah, and I actually, that's one of the reasons why I fell off. I said that I haven't watched the entire run. I loved this show, absolutely loved it from the get-go, and I fell off because I didn't want to miss what was happening. And then one season had come out like years after the last season. I was like, I need to get caught up, and then I never did. And so this is a great excuse to get that done. I think, let me quote a little fact here. It has, yes, one of Adult Swim's longest running original series in terms of years, and had the record for fewest seasons produced of a scripted show per year of continuous production, with 7 produced over 15 years. Wow. That's crazy.
That sounds right. And it's usually like about 13 episodes a season. So it doesn't add up to a huge number of episodes.
Right. So I think John and I talked a little bit about what we liked about the show, the world building and the production and everything, and the humor. James, I know you've seen a little bit of it. Darren, you just freshly saw the pilot and the first episode. I'd love you guys to walk us through what you thought.
I'll start. I mean, again, I really dug it from what I saw. Like I said, like I knew it was like a sort of a Johnny Quest parody, but I also got like sprinklings of Scooby-Doo in there a little bit. Yeah. With like the 60s retro music and the trumpets blaring. I love the kind of offbeat, oddball humor of the thing. Like I think in the pilot there was a thing where was it Hank and Dean were talking, and then I think Hank says, "Oh, Ma Venture didn't raise no fool," and then Dean says, "Well, we don't have a mom." Hank. And then it just gets very awkward instead.
Beat of silence with yeah.
I like that. I love the character of Brock Sampson, who just seems to be this like the manliest of men, who's just apparently just has this rage issue and can just like beat up everyone and everything around him like it's nothing. I like the fact that Dr. Venture is very dismissive of his sons. He doesn't seem to care for them that much. There's a lot of really odd, like, I mean, the main villain, the Monarch, that's another weird one. But like, I don't know. There's a lot here to sort of unpack. Like I'm fully on board with it. Like, but there's like a lot of, oh, that's interesting, that's weird. But you just have to sort of just go along with it, and it's I don't know. So far, I'm interested. So far, it's very interesting now.
Great, James. What did you think?
So I haven't watched the pilot and the first couple episodes yet, but I always remember thinking the characters were super interesting archetypes, right? As John talked about, they're obviously like Johnny Quest parodies, but Brock Sampson was always hilarious. Their father tend to always be a thing, and then it's hard. I don't want to, again, we're doing this, no spoilers, but knowing kind of the big season, I remember the big season 1 sort of reveal, that adds so much context, I think, to the boys, right, and their lives and kind of, who they are and what they go through. I
am surprised, having rewatched the first few episodes. Sorry, James, I cut you off because you were boring.
No, go for it.
Having.
He really is.
Yeah, step it up, James.
I want you to know I love everyone I'm on the show with. This is friendly ribbing. I don't count John Trumbull because he's not technically on the show. He's on my phone, and I don't love him at all. But
that scans.
Yeah. What I hadn't seen these episodes in years. It's shocking to me that it's been years, but in years, I forgot how rough the pilot is. It is incredibly rough, down to the animation, and it's a pilot.
It's like Flash animation, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, or at least it looks like it. The first episode is pretty strong, and then I did dip in a little deeper than that. What I what I forgot, how do I put this? There is what feels like just jokes right now that, Doc Venture doesn't love his sons, that he's incompetent, that he has, father issues. They continue to be jokes for the series, but there's context given to them as they go on. So the best I could give this as an example for modern viewers, it's imagine when The Bear won Best Comedy last year, and you're like, why is this winning the Best Comedy? But then season 2 of The Bear comes out, and there are more jokes, and you're like, okay, I can see how this is a comedy, maybe. Sort of like that. Like, you're like, oh, that's why you people are so dysfunctional. Now I have context. But the thing is, it keeps its humor throughout. Does that help? No? Well, tough luck. I said it already.
Well, I think, like, they do have the running jokes, but in some ways, they do get more real. And the show does go into, like, real emotions and real... like the basic gag they started out with was like being a boy adventurer would just be like a constant source of trauma. And that's why Doc Venture is so screwed up, because he started out as a boy adventurer and his dad had literally no regard for him.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And as the show goes on, you find out more and more just how screwed up poor Rusty Venture's childhood was. And the show's also been described as like sort of about failure.
Yes.
And like Doc Venture is a failure as a super scientist. He's a failure as a father. Brock makes up for a lot of Doc's shortcomings. Like, he seems to care more about the boys than Doc does 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think failure is going to be a through line through the show. Comedy, obviously, as well. I don't want to worry people that this is going to be very bleak. I don't think it ever really gets pretty horrible, but always fun. They land the fun.
They kind of celebrate the beauty of failure.
Yes.
It's kind of like that They Might Be Giants lyric of everybody dies frustrated and sad, and that is beautiful.
Yeah,
that's a very Venture Brothers sort of sentiment, I think.
Yeah.
Two things I think I should mention just to sort of display the depths of my fandom and love of this show is several Halloweens ago, I can't remember what year this was. It was probably like 2008, 2009, something like that. I actually dressed up as Brock Sampson for Halloween. And I will send you the pictures when we're done with this, so you can put them up.
I cannot wait to see that. And also, just to be very cruel to John right now, who did you think John Trumbull was going to have dressed up amongst the cast of Venture Brothers? It wasn't Brock Sampson in my mind.
No.
Yeah, I mean...
No, I am not. You look at me, I am not the obvious Brock Sampson type, but that was the fun of it.
Yeah, yes. And
I got, I had like fake muscles, fake chest, and
good.
And it's a pretty easy costume to throw together. I didn't have to get together a Doc Venture speed suit or anything.
Right.
With Brock, you just need like a black polo and a nice mullet wig, and I can do a good Patrick Warburton impression. So it was a lot of fun to just be Brock for a night. And the costume turned out very well, if I do say so myself. I had some help with it from a good friend of mine. The other thing is, like, years ago, this was at the New York Comic-Con. I ran into Jackson Public on the show floor. He wasn't appearing at a panel or anything. He was just walking around, and I recognized him because, again, super fan. Yeah. And he and I are actually the exact same age, and he's actually from Parsippany, New Jersey, where I lived for
I knew that.
I
knew he was from New Jersey. I forgot about that. I actually met Doc Hammer at a New York Comic-Con. He had showed up late for a panel, and I was sitting at the panel. And then when he walked in, he apologized to me specifically. And then I was like,
sure.
That's fine. And he said it was okay. And he went up on the panel. And I'm like, why did we have that rapport right there? No context.
That's very funny, because when I met Jackson, public on the show floor, and he and I are like the exact same age. When I first befriended him on Facebook, he actually sent me a private message. He was like, you live in Parsippany, and that's where I grew up. How did we never met each other?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I didn't always live in Parsippany. I didn't go to school here. But I told him, because we're the exact same age. So of course, like, all the cultural references on the show, because we grew up on the same pop culture. It's obvious. So I told him, like, this show speaks to me so much. It feels like you're making it exclusively for me. And he said, well, yeah, that's actually the case. We are making it exclusively for you. So sorry to literally every other viewer.
That explains
the show
it.
is just for me.
That explains it.
So.
That actually explains, like, some, because, like, I've noticed in, like, the first episode, the one that takes place in Tijuana, they where the Monarch talks, and he mentions the Pine Barrens and Newark Airport.
Yes.
Part of me was thinking that's somebody from Jersey wrote that, and
there's definitely evidence that someone from Jersey wrote these.
There are hardcore New Jersey references in the show, and they continue throughout the show. John Minus loves pointing those out too.
Yeah. Right now, live comment, Mr. Toe Tag again. I dressed up as henchman around that Halloween, but wound up looking more like a 21 than a 24. If you know, you know. Yes, I love that. The henchman characters get so much more developed in the next few episodes and throughout the series. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick roundtable of what we hope to get out of this rewatch. We're going to start with James, the least liked person on the cast.
Yes.
Thank you.
I mean, uniformly, we all agree, right? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll sign off on that.
Yeah. I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to get into it in a way that I never did before. I definitely don't have any context on the later seasons, and I'd love to have, like, a consistent idea of lore and the characters and kind of their journeys as they go through. And again, like I said, I've always thought, like, it seemed so sharp, right? Like, it always seemed like a really sharp show that, continuity and comedy, I think, is always the funniest thing, right? Like, it's what I love about drama. It's what I love about Community. You know what I mean? Like, I think comedies do such a, not a disservice, but I don't know. Like, the standard sort of idea of a comedy is kind of to, the Family Guys, American Dads. Like, you keep what you want that episode to make it funny, and you lose what you don't need. But I feel like the thing about shows like Venture Brothers is, like, that they have a story and they have continuity, and while that makes your job harder, the jokes and the humor and the story are just all such better for it. So
that's a great point.
I'm excited to dissect that.
That's a really great point. That's really, really interesting.
That is a good point, and it's kind of amazing that it's coming from a place of near total ignorance.
Right? Yeah. On my end, James's camera froze, and I just heard laughter. I'm like, Joker's attacking again. No, we really do love each other. We're friends. We're all good people. All right, Darren, what do you hope to get out of this?
I hope to get what all the hardcore fans have gotten out of this. What Trumbull's gotten out of it. I really want to see where this go and see, like, the world building. Like, I know I have to sort of plow through the first season, and, like, normally the first season of most shows aren't the best of the series, because that's where they're still trying to figure themselves out and, like, sort of get their sea legs about them, and just trying to sort of establish, the basics of the world they're building. So, like, I know, like, the first season, I don't know, you guys can tell me, like, if the first season is maybe the weakest and it gets better and better and better. But, like, I think
better, but it's pretty strong in the first season too. But it does, I think, get better with time.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just looking forward to, like, sort of plowing through that first season and getting to that point where I see the episode where I'm like, oh, this is why everybody loved it. This is okay. Now I'm in. Like, I'm waiting for that part. But so far I love all the characters, and the humor is super odd but super sharp and weird and great. So, like, I'm looking forward to continuing on.
Right. All right, John Trumbull, you're next. What are you looking forward to get out of this, other than an excuse to break out your signed Blu-ray collector items? I don't know. Laserdisc.
Actually, I don't know if most of my Blu-ray sets are signed. I don't know. I don't think I've gotten any of them signed. And like some of these I actually have the early seasons I have on DVD because that's how long I've been following the damn show.
Right.
I think the main thing I'm hoping to get out of it is to just kind of immerse myself in the show again and just refamiliarize myself with all the wonderful twists and turns the arcs have taken over the course of these last 20 years. And God, it's amazing to think that I've been watching the show for 20 years.
Right.
Like 2/5 of my life.
Yeah. I'm gonna slowly move Trumbull away from the microphone as he starts weeping.
What have I done with my life?
This is the start of my midlife crisis.
Yes. What I hope to get from this is to inspire midlife crisis and all the millennials and Generation X people I know. Just get everybody in it. Just ruin a bunch of days.
I mean, and I'm sure, like, there'll be a fair amount of episodes that I haven't seen in forever, and I'll be coming to them almost nearly fresh, and it'll be fun to kind of remind myself of that again. But it's such a fun show. It's such a funny show, and it's got really funny stuff, but it's got really heavy stuff in there too, and there's just some brilliant insanity. Some of the best pop culture parody stuff I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kevin Conroy, his guest shot.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Oh my God!
Sunshine. We won't get to that for quite a while, but that is.
Oh, that's hard. But all right, what I hope to get from it is community. I want to talk to people on Non-Pro about something I really like. I want to have fun rehashing some of these amazing one-liners, these things that I still quote annoyingly to people who have no idea what I'm referencing. I think I might be a quiet tapestry of rage. What was it? I almost have it. But all these great quotable lines, and I love the world building. Again, I want to be able to talk to people about legitimately making a guild of calamitous intent. I think people should be enemies, but like officially on paper. We should get this stuff going. And mostly I want people who will go see this movie with me at the end of the month, because I really want to see this movie desperately.
Can you and I start arching James?
I think we have. I think we kind of have.
Okay.
We definitely determined neither of us is cool enough to take on Darren, because I mean, we'd arch him and he'd be like, I don't even know you guys exist.
What's arching?
I'm assuming he's doing this on the back of a Harley right now. I mean, it looks comfortable, but I could hear the engine roaring in the distance. He's got to go.
I'm ignorant. What's arching?
Don't Google it.
Can't tell if this is real or not. Is this
It's real.
I will hurt you, Jay. No, it's when you are the arch nemesis of someone. They call it arch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
You poor
I don't know if I'm worthy to be
Wow.
Frank and John's arch nemesis, but I'll try.
I don't know. We would be your arch. You know what? This has been a mistake. Tune in. Well, you can't really tune in, but subscribe to the SNL Nerds. They drop new shows on Mondays. Even when SNL isn't on, they watch SNL-related movies and occasionally have midlife crises that they air on other podcasts. I can be found on the Non-Productive Network, probably playing role-playing games Monday nights, I guess. I don't know how that happened. That just sort of happened to me. That's the thing I do now. James cannot be found. He's working. If you're wondering where James is, he is working, or he's being smothered by one of his two gigantic children. Not even a joke.
Tracks.
Real thing that happened. But also subscribe to this podcast on the thing you're looking at this right now, because you will get notifications when we put out new episodes. Follow us on our Facebook and our Discord so you could talk along with us as we watch these episodes, and slip us a couple of bucks. I mean that legitimately. Find us where we live and hand us money. Don't do the Patreon thing. That's weak sauce. Ko-fi? No thank you. PayPal? No. Find us, gold doubloons, cash money.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Non-Pro's a cash only business.
Cash only podcast. Open up your if you have a computer with a CD-ROM drive, open it up, stuff some bills in there. What's going on, man?
Yeah.
We've been doing this for years. You owe us.
Hand me money.
Money.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.